So 2023 could be a big year for silver. We're hearing that from a few people. Industrial awakening, commodity demand, those seem to be the driving reasons. So should we stop buying gold and go all in on that hope? So I guess I've just always seen gold and silver as different things. I don't really buy one instead of the other. It's not a choice, except when it is. Hold on to that thought for a minute. Now, normally, I'm buying gold for big situations. I'm buying silver for smaller situations, at least if I thought the premiums allowed it. But one of the big reasons for that distinction is that if you truly were choosing between those two and you wanted to spend a big amount for a big situation, well, the final value being equal, the silver is going to cost a lot more in premium. So just pick a number like $2,000. A gold coin will cost 5% premium on top of that, give or take. And I suppose it's possible to find some form of silver somewhere for a similar premium. If I don't at least say it's possible, I'll get jumped in the comments. But it wouldn't be similar. It wouldn't be equally liquid. More likely, silver is going to be double to 15 times that premium, depending on the form. Now, apples to apples, that would be an American gold eagle versus an American silver eagle, but that isn't even feasible. Now, the next thing that I would be looking at is volatility. I don't mind silver bouncing around if I have it for smaller situations, but if I was all in on silver, or if I was replacing gold with silver, I think the spot price fluctuations would kind of drive me crazy. Premium fluctuations would drive me crazy too. It's only recently, after falling retail demand for silver, that the premiums have actually started to come down low enough to say that they'd be double gold's premiums. And again, if we were looking at like products, comparable coins or comparable bars, gold has a much lower acquisition cost. Now, that volatility is listed as a positive thing by a lot of people. I hear people say gold for wealth preservation and silver for speculation, but personally, I just don't see how physical metals could be considered good for speculation. There are just too many other things that outperform them with similar risks. Now, I have some personal bias here because I had some silver leading up to the 2011 run when it almost hit $50 an ounce. It was a fun run, and it was my first experience with a big run-up on any kind of physical asset value. But then I held on to it for almost a decade beyond that, waiting for that to happen again, and it never did. So I say that I'm neutral on silver. I see both its pros and its cons, but that unsustained run up to $48 followed by 12 years of nothing is top of mind for me. 2023 could be an interesting year for silver. I definitely don't know anything that would argue against that, but the carryover hopes from 2020, 2021, 2022 have pushed premiums up to a point where it has to have a big year just to pay back those premiums. So if it did outperform gold, will it outperform it by 5% to 70%? Whatever amount extra that you'd be paying on premiums to buy it instead of gold. That's where my mind goes. Now, I have some smaller biases against silver too. I've said this before. I don't like how much room it takes up. I don't like the minor frustrations with toning or milk spotting. I mean, if we're talking about larger bars, I just can't get real excited about a big block of dull metal unless maybe I'm at the gym. That would really be the only time that I'd be looking to move them around. For these smaller situations, though, I like the price point of silver. Have to be honest about why you would want it. $30 for a 1 ounce coin, $300 for a 10 ounce bar. Hypothetically, at least, I'm told those prices can be found. I don't see them. But if I ignore premium, a $300 purchase is just less painful than a $2,000 purchase. It's pretty straightforward. A $30 purchase, even easier. And having a few tubes of one coin or another, having a few 10 ounce bars, it's not going to be a pain to store. It's not going to be a pain to move around. But if I was going to make a video telling you that I was going to be buying one instead of the other, it would have to be about that last point. Those purchases would be less painful. It's just, again, easier to spend less money. Any other reason has to be based on hope. Hope that maybe silver will outperform gold, and who knows, maybe it will, but it has to do it in a way that A, beats it by enough to cover the far more expensive premiums, and B, doesn't do it chaotically. It would have to sustain that jump, and those to me are pretty big hurdles for silver. So I won't be stealing any cash that I'd normally be putting toward gold. to buy silver, not now, not in 2023, probably not ever. If I continue to pick up silver here and there, it will be in addition to gold. In addition to those decisions, the reasons that I buy gold. If anything, I would take from investable income, and to do that, I would have to think that silver is going to outperform some other asset that I would normally be investing in. Or I would just buy it when I have an extra $300, maybe an extra $30. And that to me is the more likely case. Now, I've seen this topic come up a lot lately, and I'm definitely not trying to change anybody's mind, but I put out a few videos on silver recently. I don't want to be part of a certain kind of chorus. I figured that I would add this one point. There's just no way that I would buy silver instead of gold. If I was going to compare the two, I would have to look at it like this. If gold was $2,000 an ounce and silver was also $2,000 an ounce, both had the exact same premiums, which one would I want? I'll give you a second to think for yourself, but I would go for gold. I'd go for gold all day because gold is a tier 1 asset, has a widespread recognition and acceptance. It's seen as a safe, stable asset, and I just don't think that volatility is a positive for physical assets. So 2023 isn't really any different for me in terms of allocations for metals. Well, I suppose it's a little bit different because I don't really have any silver to sell, but I will just maybe buy some silver as price and convenience allows. Who knows? And maybe I'll even buy a little bit less gold, but those two decisions won't be related. It's not a zero-sum game to me. The only reason that I would buy less gold would be if the price shot up and it started to feel too expensive, or if maybe I got too heavy in gold ratios. Now, maybe I have a little bit more patience this year because as history has shown, if we see these big spikes in price in either metal, usually we see those prices retrace a little bit after heading up. So I can wait. I'm already a little bit ahead of my goals, so I'm not going to feel like I'm missing out if we do see some big price runs. So what do you think? Do you think of gold and silver as a choice between the two? Do you follow gold to silver ratios or talking heads telling you one is about to shoot the moon? Or are they totally different to you too? Let us know. And then while you're in the comments, be sure to hit that like button if you found any of this interesting. Be sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on if you'd like to see more on the topic. And if you're still here, thanks again for watching. I always appreciate your time. Take care.